Hello there! This is LEGO Dynasty, and today I'm bringing you guys my review of the LEGO Iron Spider-Man Bust. It is set number 76326, comes with 379 pieces, and is rated ages 18 and up. Now this set retails in the United States for $59.99 and in Canada for $79.99. Now without further ado, let's kick off this review, starting with the box. Taking a look at the box, of course, being an 18 plus style set, you have the 18 plus box art being all black with a light emanating behind the set, this one being more of a light bluish light here. You have Iron Spider-Man bust, Marvel Infinity Saga at the top there, Marvel at the bottom. Flipping around, you can see a really cool shot of the Iron Spider-Man looking kind of menacingly there. Flipping around, you have the dimensions of the set, which are 17 centimeters or 6.5 inches tall, and 20 centimeters or 7.5 inches across. Another shot of the Spider-Man bust in Lego form, and then, of course, the actual Iron Spider-Man from Spider-Man No Way Home. Take a look at the manual here, and as you can see, it looks a little bit better than what a regular playset manual would be, though I still wish we got the regular manuals that we used to get a few years ago. I just felt those looked better and more premium. Inside, there's actually not a whole lot of write-up, but still a little bit since it is an 18 plus set, and obviously represents the line from Avengers Endgame there with Mr. Stark. It smells like a brand new car in here. And then that's basically it, just that at the beginning there. Now here are the extra pieces I was left following the build, and you can already see a couple of weird ones that you might be wondering how are those extras, but we'll get into that. Obviously, a lot of regular studs and tile pieces that you would kind of expect, a brick separator, but then these two pieces, as you can actually choose how you want to display the Spider-Man minifigure and display plaque. You have two different options you can choose from, and I'll show that later in the video. Taking a look at our minifigure included in the set, and we have Iron Spider-Man here. Overall, looks pretty good. He's got some really awesome arm print in there. Even the torso print looks excellent. Dual molded legs with the blue and red there, which is just awesome to see. And of course, has this extra part to represent his, spider mechanical arms that can come out of his suit. And of course, you can pop that off if you want to reveal some nice back printing as well. Now you don't get an extra headpiece and hairpiece for Peter Parker's face, but in this set I'm actually fine with that since it is just a bust set and you're not building a Peter Parker head bust. Now let's take a look at the full Spider-Man Iron Spider bust, and it looks pretty cool. Obviously, somewhat similar, but a lot more downscaled compared to the helmet lineup, which did have a Spider-Man mask set released, which we will compare later on. But I think it still looks really cool overall. Really, my main gripes with it just come to these little things with the eyes, just sometimes not lining up perfectly, and that kind of makes it look a little bit weird. But overall, I think this is actually kind of cool, like being able to do something like this. Obviously, I almost feel like the main reason they did this set was so they could have, a bust that could also include a minifigure, because that's been one of the main complaints about the helmet sets, is not including a minifigure to display alongside it. Same with, of course, mini scale. Like, just in general, feels like LEGO has been skimping out on minifigures in these sets, and so they went ahead and created this, where I guess they feel it makes more sense to include the minifigure version of the character. It has some really nice detail. This part here is a print, which is awesome. So it's gold with this printed blue on top. No stickers in this set. Everything you see is a print, which is awesome. So the eyes, of course, these parts here are going to be prints as well with the Spider-Man mask, which looks pretty cool. Even at the top as well. Honestly, wish they had some more prints here on these particular parts. I think that could have really used it. Not too upset about the rest. I mean, like, yeah, I wish they did these parts, but I'm kind of okay that they didn't. Like, really just wish they did this part in particular, this smooth piece. I think I would have really liked to see them have the webbing design on there. You can see the shoulders look kind of cool. I feel like it does kind of work. I feel like the proportions are pretty accurate overall for what it would be, so that's definitely pretty nice. And of course you have the mechanical spider arms as well that you can move around, create and display as you see fit. So if you wanted to go like that, like you really can play around with how you want to display it, which is nice. And you can also, of course, have opposability of the head, pretty much 360 degrees, as you can see. So if you want to kill Peter Parker, you can do that, I guess, but probably wouldn't be doing that. And it just looks really nice. And like I said, like this is the one thing I really don't like is just with how the pieces got lined up. Now this is sort of locked in place, and it can be kind of annoying to move it. You got some movability, but you can see there, like, I think that looks a little bit better already, but that's the one thing is I don't like how the eyes sort of sit in there. It kind of just throws me off a little bit, and that might be the one thing I dislike about the overall design there. Taking a look at the plaque and, of course, minifigure spot, definitely different and smaller than the helmet lineup sets, but still the same general idea here, and it looks pretty good. I will show off in a moment the other alternative design, which removes the Spider-Man display spot here in a moment. That was the extra pieces that were included. But overall, I think I do prefer this design of it just because I like being able to display the minifigure alongside it. Now let's see what that looks like. Now to swap it out is very simple, I have to say. You just pop off these two sections, of course, which, I mean, I think is sort of a given there, just like that. And then you would also pop off one of these pieces here, if I can do it quite simply, this sort of corner piece, just like that. And then you would, of course, grab one of these pieces here, and you can kind of put it whatever section you want, but there we will put. And then this is the other extra piece that I showed originally, just like that. And then you would just take this piece here, and you would go on top, just like that. And then you can actually turn this, and it looks just like that. So then the extra pieces would actually be these ones here. So you could theoretically combine these and create like an interesting little Spider-Man, I guess, display that's separate. But personally, I think I prefer the design with these being attached, which I will swap back to. But still, nice to have that customization if you wanted to, because obviously this will look more in line with what the previous helmet collection has done. Now here we have the Spider-Man mask and the Iron Spider-Man bust here next to each other. And overall, it's going to come down to your own opinion if you like one more than the other. In my personal opinion, I definitely like the helmets or mask lineup a bit more, but I do think this can still exist on its own. I'm perfectly fine with that. I hope that this doesn't replace the helmet lineup, because I think there are still plenty of options they can do, including just revisiting and doing slight changes, like maybe they could release a more, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man mask, or a, Iron Spider-Man mask in this, scale here, with obviously some slightly different design changes to the masks, for instance. Overall, though, I think these are both pretty good sets next to each other, and I just like that they both exist. The LEGO Iron Spider-Man bust, to me, is a pretty darn good LEGO set overall, with its main gripe being, you guessed it, the price. Its price is absolutely ridiculous. It really is. Like, at $59.99 US, basically $60 US, and 80 Canadian dollars, like, this set is definitely not worth that. It's probably closer to a $40 set in the US and maybe $60 in Canada, but probably more of a $50 Canadian set, which, with the conversion probably brings it down to like 35 US dollars with how crappy the Canadian dollar conversion is. Nevertheless, this set is way overpriced. This is a set to wait to get on sale, which is what I did. I waited for the Prime days here in Canada and got it on a decent price, definitely not as low as I would have wanted to pay, but a lot lower than this price for sure. In the end, definitely set to wait to get on sale. But in the end, that's all my opinion. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the LEGO Iron Spider-Man bust in the comments down below. Have you picked up the set, or are you planning to? Please leave a like and subscribe if you have enjoyed, and have a great day, everyone.